So I want to start off by saying this is a class for people with tight hamstrings, or maybe somebody who thinks they can't go to yoga because they can't touch their toes. Nobody can touch their toes when they start yoga. Very few people anyways. So it's helpful to have some props. You don't have to have yoga specific props, but here's what we're going to use. We're going to have this option. We're going to have a bolster or a pillow, a blanket or two or a towel or two, a strap or a belt or a long like rag or washcloth, and some blocks. If you have blocks, great. If you don't, you probably have some books. You probably have some cans of soup, cereal boxes, anything that will lift the ground up towards you so that you can plant your hands on something higher than the ground. If you have those things, go grab them now, and then we'll get started. First thing I want you to do, and I want you to find your comfortable seat. So if it's on your knees like this, take it there. If you want to put a blanket in between your calves and your glutes and raise up a little bit, take it there. If you want to grab a block or a book and sit your sit bones, you can go there. Or you can sit down. I'm just going to give you all the options. Sit down and you can cross your legs. I like to support my shins with the side of my foot so that the bottom blade, the outside blade of my foot, is pressing into the ground. That helps support my hips when my hips are sore, or if they're just not quite open enough and this is a little tight on my knees or hips, I do that. But if you're comfortable bringing in your heels, feel free, right? That's the whole point. That's what I love about yoga. It can be different for everybody. So find your seat if you haven't already through my talking. And go ahead, take a deep breath in and exhale it out your mouth. And close your eyes. Continue to breathe in and breathe out, just allowing yourself to be here right now. Just for a few moments, give yourself your own time, your own dedicated moment. Worrying or thinking about what you have to do later will not get it done faster. So just be here now. It's a gift to yourself. Inhale, then exhale through your nose. And just naturally, you don't have to change your breath. Just let your breath flow exactly as it is. Notice it and don't judge anything. That's a really hard and very loaded sentence. Some of you may even just roll your eyes. I always internally roll my eyes. Try your best not to judge yourself. Just accept everything exactly as it is right now. Let your palms rest on your knees. So as you breathe here with your eyes closed, imagine your spine reaching all the way up from your tailbone, all the way up your lumbar spine, your lower back, the middle of your spine, your thoracic spine, your cervical spine, which is all the way up the back of your neck, the back of your head, all the way towards the sky, so you reach a little bit taller. When you exhale, check in with your shoulders and see if maybe you can lower them a little bit. Maybe they might be squeezing and holding on to a little bit of tension. When you inhale, think long spine reaching for the sky. Exhale, think shoulders melting down your back. Shoulder blades drawing down your back. Going back to no judgment. Don't judge yourself in what you're watching me do and what your capabilities are doing. I'm going to try to model all different body styles as we go through some of this, and what it feels like is the most important thing. So tune into your body and your feelings. You're looking for a stretch down the back of your legs. That's the goal. If you feel it, you're doing it right. If at any point you're pushing it really hard where the stretch pain becomes sharp, go ahead and pull back. But you are, I mean, hamstring stretches are like, I don't want to use the word painful, but they're intense. So breathing, 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 breathing. It's important. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. And exhale, twist to the side. Your opposite hand goes on the outside of the opposite knee. Look over your back shoulder. And just get a good spinal twist. Still thinking, inhale, long spine. Exhale, melting the shoulders. On your next inhale, swing your arms back up. And exhale, twist the other way. On your inhale, long spine. Exhale, shoulders melting down. You'll feel that. I feel that stretch every time I melt my shoulders down. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, plant your hands on your knees. Go ahead and bring your knees together, or if you're sitting on your knees, go ahead and bring your feet out from underneath you and plant your feet in front of you. And just hug your knees. And I want you to curl your spine. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me. I want you to curl your spine so that it's rounded out. Just rounding and stretching along the back. You can feel, what I want you to think is your heart is pushing back. Your shoulder blades are stretching out, and you're going to feel a stretch along your back. Maybe you can even use the pull of these, holding onto these shins to really get into that stretch. Now I want you to press your palms into your shins. Shoulders go back and down, and your heart pulls forward, elongating your spine, pulling your heart forward into a almost what you're imagining to be an arched back. So this is a seated cat and cow. Big inhale. Exhale, curving your spine back. Exhale it all the way out. When you get to the bottom of the exhale, go ahead and inhale, lifting your heart, pulling your heart forward like you're trying to pull it between your shins. And then when your inhale is done, you're going to exhale and curve again into a cat back. And inhale, cow. Exhale, but exhaling all the air out, cat back. Inhale, filling up, opening up your lungs, opening up your heart, cow. And then come back to a neutral. I want you to roll over onto your hands and knees. If you have blankets underneath you, you just move them out of the way. Move my blocks. Come onto your hands and knees. And I want you just to roll around, roll your shoulders. So what you're doing is you're stretching out your wrists a little here and your hips. Roll forward to the side and then back. And maybe you go all the way around a couple times, rolling into your hips and your wrists and getting your body ready before we push up into our first downward dog. So before we get there, we're going to a downward dog, which is a really big stretch on the whole body. It's going to stretch your hamstrings, and it's going to stretch the whole back of your leg, in all of it. So take a deep breath, inhale, tuck your toes. Now what you're going to do is press your palms into the ground, lift your knees up off the ground, your hips are going to raise up to the sky. You're going to look back at your belly button, like that, and you're just going to start to feel this stretch down here. Now I'm keeping my legs bent. You can keep your legs bent as you start to pedal one at a time to feel that stretch, all the way from your heel, all the way up to your glute. Stretching one at a time, pedaling through, all the way through the back of the leg. Take your time. Maybe you roll to the outside of your foot, the inside, whatever you need. Kind of experiment. Maybe you get creative. Maybe you're like, no, I don't know what to do. And if that's the case, no pressure. Just bend one and bend the other. All I want to do is offer anybody the opportunity to experience yoga, even if they think they can't do it because of hamstrings. All right, bring your knees back down. That's a lot. I understand, and especially if you're new to yoga, it's intense. Take your hands. I want you to point your fingers down, and then up, and then down. And then I want you to cross your arms. And then I want you to reach your hands out and then turn your palms toward each other. Grab your own fingers and you're gonna roll it in and roll it out. That's gonna give your wrists a stretch. So if your wrists start to get sore when you're putting pressure on your hands, you can just do this. Roll it in and roll it out. Now let go, switch your crossover, interlace your fingers, and then roll it in and roll it out to the other wrist. So downward dog is, a lot of teachers say the phrase like waking up your hamstrings and all that kind of stuff. I mean, truthfully it is. It's sometimes the first thing you do that will engage your hamstrings or stretch them. And it's like, whoa, hello, good morning. But it's gonna be really good for you. So it's just an experience. Alrighty. So now we're gonna go back into a downward dog, not for quite as long, but we're gonna keep our knees pretty bent like before. So go ahead and tuck your toes under and start to press into your hands, lifting your knees up, looking back at your belly button. Now I'm looking at you because I want to, talk to you and explain everything, and I want you to hear my voice. But I want your head back and down, looking right between your legs. Knees bent as much as you need. All right, now what's going to happen is you're going to walk your hands back to your feet. Walking your hands back to your feet. Now my knees are going to bend a lot here, right? They're going to bend a lot for my comfort, for my hamstrings, for everything. Then I'm going to slowly take my hands off the ground and let my head hang. This is a very big stretch, so I'm going to give you options. Here they are. You can bend your knees so much that you rest your chest on your thighs and tuck your head down, and you'll feel a really good stretch in your back just by releasing. Another option is to take your blocks or books, however tall you want, and to use that as a support. Dropping your head. What I want you to do is get inside, right, in your body, not in your head, and check in, feel that stretch. You're looking for a stretch in the belly of your hamstring. So not up high in the glute. So what that means is you might want to experiment with leaning forward onto your toes, leaning backwards, you'll feel it, leaning forwards, and then finding some space right in between the ball of your foot and your heel, like, as though your arch was pressing into the ground, where your leg is coming up right out of that. Now, I'll speak as a hamstring tear recovered yogi. I have torn my hamstring. It is a very long process to recover, so maybe you're in that process. I've never, since then, straightened my leg in a forward fold. It just makes me feel safer. I still get a very good stretch, but I always make sure I'm putting my weight more forward to the middle of my foot rather than leaning back into that upper part of my hamstring. So that's where that tear will happen, and it sucks. So coming forward into however you want to hang. If you've been here while I'm talking and you're just dying, feel free to bend your knees, come out of it for a second, give it a little rest, and maybe return to a forward fold. Big inhale all the way up. And I want you to exhale, bringing your palms together at the top and slowly lowering your thumbs to your heart, palms together. And I want you to remember no judgment. No judgment against yourself. It is what it is. You are you, and that is perfectly enough. You don't need to change it. You don't need to match anybody. You just need to accept that it is exactly as it is, and that is enough. Inhale, raise your arms up to the sky. And exhale, slowly folding forward. You have your blocks, your book, or anything you need here. You're welcome to use it. Now we're going to do a half lift. So that means we're going to come halfway up. I love to use my shins to press my palms into my shins and get a lot of length in my spine. You can do it on your upper thighs, above your knees. I just would recommend maybe not pressing into your kneecaps, naturally. So what I want you to imagine is your shoulders roll back, your elbows are drawing in towards your body, your palms push in, and your spine gets long, wherever you are. Your hands can be on your thighs, on your shins, on the floor, on the blocks. Feel that length in your spine. Feel your ribs pull away from your hip bones. Fill your lungs up, and then empty them out, folding forward. Good, healthy bend in your knees. Now, I'm going to say plant your hands on the ground. What that might mean for some of you is this. Plant your hands on the ground, and then slowly make your way into a downward dog. Whether that means walking your feet back or walking your hands forward, depending on your space on your mat. So downward dog, our fingers are spread out this much, as far as they can go, wide, wide, wide. They're shoulder width apart. Our feet are hip width apart. It's not as wide as you might think, but if wide feels good to you, go wide with your feet. All I'm looking for is that your hips are up higher and you're in like a triangular position, right? That's all. And I want you to feel that stretch on the back of your hamstrings. Then I want you to lower your knees. And then I want you to come all the way up high on your knees. Hands on your hips. I want you to take your right foot, untuck your back toes, bring your right foot forward. Hands are still on our knees. And then I want you to slowly start to wiggle that front toe forward a little bit so you can start to sink your hips a little bit forward. So you see what I'm saying? Find your space, find your place. I want you to check in and see, are my elbows facing the sides or are they kind of at a diagonal? And if they're at a diagonal, can you get them a little bit even? So what that is that's your hips. We want to check in that your hips are not opening up or turning in. We're trying to keep them even. Big breath in, raise your heart up. Maybe we lift our chin. Maybe we pull our elbows back a little bit like they're trying to pull together in the back. That opens up that chest, that heart space. Lift your chin if it feels good on your neck, or you can just keep it parallel with the ground. Then we're going to lean back into our back foot, extending our front foot so our toes come up. Now, you might want blocks again, or books, or you can put your hands on your hips and just leave them there. We're going to start to extend this front hamstring by straightening this leg. Now, when I say straighten, I'm only that straight. I'm not going like straight, straight. I'm going to keep a little bend in it, and you can keep an even smaller bend, but I always recommend a certain amount of bend, just for safety and just for comfort. Then you're going to feel those hips, and you're going to start to hinge forward. Now, you might want to stop. This might be enough stretch for you. You can stay there. Or you can hinge forward as far as feels comfortable. If you want those blocks, they are there. If you want to press into support, it's that same flat back feeling that we did in the forward fold. We have that same feeling. You don't need to put your nose to your knee. What I want you to do, and you don't really need to do anything. What I'd like you to do, what I think what you'd like to do, because you are taking this class, or at least watching it, is feel a hamstring stretch. If you feel it here, that you're doing it. If you'd like to feel more, you just lean into it, flat back, lean into it. Find your stretch. Now we're going to sit up again, hands on our hips, and lean forward. So now we're opening up that other hip, that back hip. If your knee does not like being on the ground, take one of your towels or blankets and put it under the knee. Ah, so nice. And then one more time, last time. We're going to bring it back into this front leg. The name of this this pose, and I haven't said it because it sounds very intimidating, and I'll tell you now that we're on the last run of it. The name of this right here is called half split. The word splits evokes like a gymnastics hyperextended muscle mass of a female in the US Olympics to me. And it's a beautiful thing. But I don't want anyone to feel intimidated and immediately have that same gut reaction. Oh yeah, I cannot do the splits. It's just what it's called. I'll rename it. I'll come up with something else. I'm sure there is another name for this. I'll figure it out. All right, coming back up, lowering that knee down. Maybe we roll our hips around. Ooh, it feels really good on my hamstring. Roll your hips around, hey. All right, switch legs. We do have two sides. Okay, so the first thing we did was hands on hips. Let's check in. Yep, arms even, elbows pointing out in the same direction to either side. And then we're going to start to lift our heart, sink forward a little bit. The knee is going directly over my front foot. So I'm going to turn again to show you. It's going directly forward, right? It's not going out and it's not going in because that's going to compromise the pose, and B, your hip. So what I want you to do is that hip is right there. Sinking forward may or may not be for you. Being on one knee like this might be enough stretch. Your body, your choices. My balance on this side is like cuckoo crazy today. Okay. Getting back to it. Inhaling, lifting your heart. Maybe you lift your chin, maybe you don't. Squeezing your elbows back, broadening the space along your chest. Just breathing and sitting. So I want to suggest something. The reason why we do yoga, many reasons, one of the reasons, and I'll go ahead and bring it back, is not to become flexible or to touch our toes. It's to find out what's going on in our heads while we're doing that. Maybe you learn something. You learn something about your strength, your patience, your impatience, frustration. Maybe you have thoughts come up in your head. Just get curious about where your brain goes while you do these things. Get interested. Be completely intrigued by your thoughts. Notice them. Notice what's going on in your body and just allow yourself to be aware. And I'm going to come back to that word one more time. Without judgment. I say it over and over again because I struggle with it. I know how difficult it is. I teach what I need. What I need is to stop being judgmental about myself and my body. And I know that other people are the same. So just let it be what it is. Hinging forward from your hips, long stretched out spine, the top of your head reaching so you can feel that space created between your vertebrae, and folding forward. Again, maybe you fold forward. Maybe you don't. That's okay. Continue to breathe. If the stretch is very intense, you'll catch yourself holding your breath. That is normal. Notice it. Be aware of it. Don't judge. Don't roll your inner eye. Just breathe. Tell yourself it's okay. Tell yourself you can do hard things. Everything will be okay. Whatever it takes. Tell yourself to stick with it. And it's okay. It's just a muscle. It's just a stretch. It's not forever. Coming back up. Sinking your hips forward one more time. Lifting your heart. Breathing in. Thank God that part's over for a second. It is what it is. And you are who you are. And that is enough. Sinking back one last time. Keeping that little bend. Using your blocks or hands on your hips. Hinging forward with long spine. So the reason why I say long spine is I'm trying to keep you from that. If you take a moment to experiment, yes, your head will get closer to your knee, but your stretch does not get greater when your head goes to your knee. Your stretch will get greater when you can fold your belly towards your thigh, and you'll feel that. Try it, experiment, learn about it, learn about your body. Get curious, non-judgmentally. Inhaling up, lowering your knee. Now I want you to bring toes together. You can have your knees apart or knees together. We're going to go into a child's pose. Go there now if you know what I'm talking about. If not, again, experiment. Knees together, knees apart, what feels good. And you're going to walk your hands out. You're going to lower your forehead to the ground, and your arms are going to reach out long. This is a resting pose. If this does not feel restful for you, and you have a pillow, you can put a pillow in front of you to lie down on, if that feels better. If the pressure of your hips on your heels is too much, you can bring a blanket or towel or 2 or 3 or whatever you need to rest. So take a moment, a few moments, to rest. If you have a bolster or a pillow, and obviously turning your face into the pillow does not feel good, turn your ear to the pillow and just rest. Allow the muscles in your body to just all melt, to relax. Allow your breath to either expand into your thighs or your pillow, depending on where you're lying and how. Maybe you feel your heartbeat, maybe you hear it. Thank yourself for setting aside moments of your day to do something, to move, to get brave, to experiment, to see a class that says, I can't touch my toes yoga, and be like, holy shit, that's me, and do it. Thank yourself. Pressing back up to your hands and knees. We're coming out of our child's pose. Don't worry. It'll still be there. We'll come back to it. Taking your blankets, your towels, your everything off. I want you to step up 1 foot at a time. And we're going to bring our legs wide. Our feet are parallel. So what that means is they're just toes going front, heels going back. This is turned out. This is parallel. Again, this might be something you know, but I'm just treating this as though this might be new to you, and I'm here to just offer the information. Okay, so what I want is I want my belly button facing this wall. I want my hips squared. So again, like we did when we were on our knees, our elbows are facing the sides, yeah? All right, so I'm gonna put a little bend. Now it's hard to keep a bend in the back knee, but I'm gonna try. And I'm gonna keep a bend in the front knee. It just feels safer to me. This is a big hamstring stretch. And I'm going to extend my spine long, lifting my heart, bringing my elbows back a little, and melting my shoulders down. I try to find a place of peace, calm, and ease in each of my poses. I'm going to inhale, lift my heart. Exhale with that same hinging of my hips. Start to lean forward. Now, this is one where you might be like, oh my God, I'm already there. And that's cool. So you don't even have to use blocks. This might be enough. Keep that bend in the knee. If you have a table, you can push into the table to get a longer spine. You can move this pose over to a table. Quick, grab your phone, walk over there, your laptop. You can come down farther if your body says, let's go more into this hamstring stretch. And then you can reach for blocks. Again, I'm trying to my goal is to keep my spine long. I'm pulling my front leg hip back and allowing my back leg hip to roll forward. You're gonna feel it. If you just take that back hand, the back foot is in the back. Take your hand, push that hip forward. You're gonna feel that. You might even want to keep it there for a couple seconds, breathing, feeling into your stretch, noticing how you feel, noticing what your thoughts are, and just letting them be okay with it. I know, yeah, it's hard. I know, but you're not alone. This is pyramid pose. Pyramid pose is not my favorite pose. Do you know why? Because of my damn hamstrings. But it's really good for my hamstrings. It's a really good stretch, and I will continue to do it because I see improvement. Big inhale, hands on your hips, coming all the way up, facing the front. Let's turn our feet out. Big breath in, raise your heart. Exhale, we're gonna bend down into a goddess squat. Let's inhale, raise your arms up to the sky, and exhale out your mouth, a big sigh, cleansing breath. Do it again. Inhale. Third time's the charm. You'll notice the strength building in your thighs. It is strength. Go ahead and straighten them. We're going to turn to the other side. Turn your toes. Your feet are parallel. You can widen them for your balance. Get your props ready, right? If you're going to use the blocks, if you're going to use your table, you might want to turn right back around to the table. Plant your blocks. Get ready. Big breath in. Heart goes up, elbows go back slightly, and start to hinge forward. Straight, long spine. So you're reaching up and then folding forward. Reaching out and then folding. Now, just like before, we're going to take that hand of the back leg and we're going to pull that hip forward. And then maybe you find your blocks. Maybe you stay up. And you breathe. One more big breath in. And on your next inhale, come back all the way up. Turn towards the front one more time, turning your toes out. And go ahead this time and come down into your goddess squat with your hands on the top of your thighs. Like a little support, but it also, when you press your hands into your thighs, your shoulders press down, your spine is getting length again. Feel that length. Your tailbone is dropping, your head is lifting. And on an exhale, maybe you sink one shoulder down and then back up. Exhale, sink the other shoulder. Back up. And then extend your legs. Maybe you roll your hips around again. Woo! Get a little fancy, do a little dancy. Then we're going to sit down on the ground. So however you want to do that, go ahead and have a seat. Your legs are going to be out in front of you. All right. So there's a couple of ways to do this, and you might have some wall space in your house you might want to experiment with. If you want to experiment with wall space, like using the wall as a support for your back, sometimes sitting in an L shape, just sitting, is the challenge. So you have your towels and your blankets to sit on. You have blocks. You can raise your hips higher or even higher if needed to sit nice and tall with your legs extended. This is a challenge. A lot of people will sit like this or like this. At this moment, if I could choose, I would rather you sit like this. Long spine, bent knees. If you feel that stretch in your hamstrings, you're doing it right. If you're getting here and you're like, oh, this is better, I don't feel anything, maybe start to work your legs out until you do feel a little something. Keeping that spine long. Don't compromise that to get here. Because this is not the forward fold we're going for. And I can't we're not going for any forward fold. We're just gonna do what's right for our body. I want you to keep a long spine. So just sitting here, maybe your hands reach the ground. Maybe you press into the ground, shoulder blades melting down your back. Flexing your feet. Now that's going to really increase the stretch. So experiment. Point. So extend your toes long and then flex, bringing your toes back towards you. You're going to really feel that in the flex. Point. And then flex. And then point. And then flex. My little friend is coming to join us. Hi, Winnie. Now let's keep our legs flexed. She's going to help me stretch. And I want you to start to reach your head tall, and that might be enough because I feel it already. If you'd like to continue to hinge forward, feel free to start to hinge. Keeping our feet flexed is making it really intense. If you'd like to hinge forward and not have it be so intense, go ahead and point your toes or let your feet relax a little and start to hinge with that long spine. Breathing into this. Reminding yourself, I can do hard things. You can do hard things. Breathe. No judgment. Another option I want to give you here, and I put both my blankets under my legs, is if you're sitting on a block or a pillow or whatever you've chosen, and you have an extra towel, you can support the backs of your knees with that. Oh yeah, that's a really comfortable forward fold. It gives that support. It keeps your legs up for you, and you're still getting a really good stretch. Breathing in. Now walk your hands up or sit your body back up, unhinge or bend your knees more, whatever is going to release a little bit on those hamstrings, and maybe let your knees swing back and forth. Maybe you wiggle your legs, maybe you lean back, whatever feels good to your hamstrings. All right, one more time. We're going to extend those legs, keep at least a baby bend in them, and then you're welcome to support with as much as you want. Blocks, blankets, pillows, whatever. Big breath in, shoulders melting down, shoulder blades drawing down your back. Inhale, exhale, folding, or not. Your hamstrings are talking to you, yeah? Another option I wanted to give you, I'm going to grab it real quick. Another option I wanted to offer is a strap, a belt, or a washcloth. So if you want to start reaching for your toes, right? Let's say you do. You want to experience that. So bend your knees and hook whatever you're going to hold on to underneath your feet. Then start to walk them out. Then they'll get to where they are comfortable. Then you start to walk your hands out. Then you can use that leverage to start to pull your belly towards your thighs. So we don't want to curve nose to knee. Not today. Maybe for another exercise or another purpose. But today, we're getting that hamstring stretch this way, bending your elbows, pulling your heart forward, and allowing the stretch to happen that way. You'll notice after you hold it for a little bit, you might be able to get another inch out of that stretch. Breathe. You can do hard things. Touching your toes is hard. This is I can't touch my toes yoga. It's hard. All right, then I want you to bring yourself all the way back up. You can take that strap off. It's there for whenever you need it. We're on the ground. I'm going to let you get one final stretch on your back, and then we're going to go into Shavasana. So it has come. The moment has come. So go ahead and set your Shavasana up. If you happen to not know what that is, it's just your resting pose, your corpse pose. Time to recover your body from all the stretching. So first things first, stretch your legs long. Oh, hi, I have a pillow. And your arms long, and go ahead and bring one knee into your chest. Inhale, exhale, pull your knee to your chest. Then take your opposite arm and cross your knee across your body and give yourself a little twist. So your other arm is reaching away from your knee crossing. You're twisting out your spine. We've given our spine a lot of length in this class. Hi, boo-boo. Hi. And then bring it back to the center. Hug your knee one more time, and then switch sides. Inhale big. Fill your body up with extra oxygen for healing and recovering and resting. And exhale, pull your knee in. Allowing your knee to go even deeper. Inhale. Cross your arm across your body, grab your knee, exhale and twist, allowing your knee to come across your body and your opposite arm reaches away. So when you're here, that shoulder that your arm is reaching, it's going to stay on the ground. Your knee that's crossing, I'm going to show you my side, it might not touch. That's okay. What you're looking for is the twisted feeling in your spine. It's that same feeling when you're sitting up in a chair and you try to twist your back to pop it. That's all. Go ahead and bring that knee back to your chest, hug it in, and extend your legs out. Your arms and legs are reaching long. You're lying flat on your back. Close your eyes. Thank yourself one last time for giving this time to yourself, this gift, doing something that is hard. Hamstrings are a beast. They are in my world anyways, so I understand. That's why I wanted to create this. I am grateful that you watched it. I'm grateful that you did it for yourself. I would love to help in any way, shape, or form. So if there's something else that you would like, let me know. Take as long as you want to rest and recover. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for doing something for you. Most importantly, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day with whatever you have left to do today. From my heart to yours, may you feel empowered, may you feel strong, and may you feel confident. Namaste. Hey, if you would like more videos like this, I would love to make them and I would love to create them. So please tell me what you want, tell me what you need, even the stuff you don't want that you need, let me know. You can find me on Instagram, Texas Yoga Mama, and I'm gonna try to keep posting stuff here in between meditation, breathing, and yoga. Have a great day, thank you.